Hi, I'm Sophie and welcome to my world. Today we're going to do a glowworm nightlight. Now I do want to say that even though this looks like a toy and that you might want to give it to a kid to play with, I wouldn't do that because there are some parts that could pull apart, but it makes the cutest nightlight. And we use these really adorable little color changing orbs to make our very own glowworms. For this project, you're going to need white knee-high stockings, rubber bands, tiny ones, polyfill or stuffing, LED glow orbs, which we get from Windy City Novelties, Sharpie markers, small square of cardboard or foam core, a hot glue gun, thick hair bands, and a sock. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to take the power strip out of these little glow balls. So what happens is they send them with these little strips so that they don't end up using all their battery power before they get to you. So you just pull this out here and it's kind of like, when you pull it out, then it'll light up. And see, the button is right here. And what's neat about these things is that they actually have all these different colors that you can go through, but they also go on this color orb changing thing where they go from one color to the next color to the next color. So the button is going to be very important. So what I'm going to do is take a Sharpie pen with my button, and I'm just going to put a round circle around the button so that I make sure when I do this, I know where it is when I put it in its sock. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a face on my little fella. I'm going to draw it on the opposite side of where you would replace the battery. So right around here, right over on this side. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to do a very simple little face here. And I'm using my Sharpie pens. You want to make sure you use either a Sharpie or any other kind of marker that is not going to wipe off. Because this is kind of like a plasticky substance that these balls are made out of. These are the coolest things ever. I used these for a bar mitzvah one time and wrote everybody's names on them. These were the place cards. And when people came in, they were all glowing and it was super pretty. Okay, so there you go. There's my little face. And what I'm going to do next is take my white stocking. This is just a simple white stocking. And I got this on Amazon. They were pretty inexpensive. And I'm going to fill this with some polyfill. Now, I'm not going to be shy about this. I'm going to stuff this baby full. Just stuff it in there. I'm stuffing it in so that the toe is on the bottom. Now, you can do it upside down the other way and put this where the face is. But the thing is that eventually you are going to run out of battery. And the way that I'm making this little guy, you'll actually be able to open them up and take the battery out and replace it. And this just uses like those watch batteries that you can get at IKEA, those big flatties that they use for like LED candles and things like that. They've become very popular. Okay, so I'm stuffing. And the thing about this is you can stuff this and make this as full as you want it to be. The main thing you want to do is you do want to get it kind of chubby. You do not want it to be saggy. Nobody likes a saggy glowworm. So I've stuffed that really pretty well. And now I'm going to put my little head in. I'm just going to take my little head and slide it on in. Boop. There we go. And I'm going to push it down and get it in place so that, see where the button is there? So you can see where the button is. And I'm going to push it down so it's tight up against. Now I'm not going to tie this because I'm going to want to be able to get open when my battery runs out. So I'm going to pull this really tight and I'm going to use a rubber band. And these are those tiny little rubber bands, you know, the ones that you use for hair braids. So I'm going to use one of these tiny little rubber bands. It's going to end up looking like she has either a bridal veil or like a big long ponytail, like that little character from Rapunzel. Okay, there we go. So now she's all locked in. You can start to see she's starting to form that kind of glowworm shape. Now the fun thing is that the button is right there so I can push it. And look, she comes right on. And then I can push it and it goes right off. Now this part here, if you want to, I know this sounds crazy, but you could suspend this You know, you could have a little suspended glowworm if you wanted to. But I'm going to use a sock to cover it up, and I'm going to make the hat. Now, you can do your hat one of two ways. You can cut the toe end off, but I actually am more fond of using the other end, the end where you put your leg in, because it's got this cuff on it. So what I'm going to do is take my scissors and just cut right here, right above the black. And then I'm going to flip this inside out and pull it down here a little bit. And I'm going to glue this together. So I'm going to glue it together like that. So I'm going to open this up and take my hot glue gun. And I'm just going to lay a bead of glue right here in the center there. Then I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here on the side of that triangle edge there. See that little edge right there? Right on that edge, and then I'm going to fold that over onto itself here. This is going to give me a rounded shape as opposed to a pointy, boxy shape. Although you can have a pointy, boxy shape if you want, like, you know, the snowboarders used to. For a long time, they had those hats that kind of were squared off. Well, if you want one of those, you can just leave it. You don't have to fold it over. But see, what happens is when you turn this inside out, kind of looks like one of those house points that I'm always making with my glue guns. Excuse me, with my duct tape, I mean. You turn it over, and now you got yourself a little hat. So now this part, all of this gets stuffed up into the hat, so you don't even know it's there. And then you just put the little hat on. Okay, buddy, here's your hat. Keep you warm. There we go. Boop. Now remember, your button is right back here. See? It's right there. Boop. Turn it off. And put your hat back on. Now once you know where your button is, and this is why I said put it at the base there, you can just feel for it and turn it on. You don't have to take the hat off. Now the one thing that I like to do is I like to section them. Now you can leave them like this, but I like to section them off, give them a little bit of a worm look. So I found these really cool thick hair bands at the dollar store. So I'm just going to slide one on. And this is part of the reason why I say that it's probably not a great idea to give to a child to play with, because these will easily slip off. However, I think they're so cute. And there we go. And there you go. You've got your little glowworm. Now, to make him stand up, if you just take a duct tape roll, just like the end of the roll, like this is the very end of a roll that just has the last little bits left, add a little bit of hot glue to the bottom, right around the edge, and glue it. I've got a 4x4 inch square here, cardboard foam core, it doesn't matter which one. That's just going to give it a little steadying balancing there. And see, then you just stick them in like that, and now all of a sudden you have a glowworm. And now let me just turn him on, find that button. There we go. And now maybe we can turn the lights off in the studio here, and we'll be able to say, glow little glowworm, glimmer, glimmer, glow little glowworm, glimmer, glimmer. For more ideas that'll light up your day, come and check us out, Sophie-World.